Finally, what has felt like the longest month ever has come to an end, and we usher in the shortest, yet what we think is the most fun,
The
best month
best.
ever because it's our birthday month. Welcome to a new episode of the Inner Circle podcast. I am your host with my best girlfriend, co-host Melanie.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to next week. Looking forward to traveling, going on vacation, celebrating my birthday, all the things. Um, Thank you for being my fashion police during these couple of days where I've had different dress choices. I feel like I'm getting ready for the Met Ball.
Yes, you have been sending me all your dress. It's like little fashion shows. Laughing about. I was thinking about this and laughing the other day because then on Sunday I'm
Yeah.
sending you little.
We were sending each other videos. That is
Yeah,
hilarious. But yeah, I'm excited. I like the looks that we have coordinated and the dresses I chose. Even though I feel like I'm gonna be dressed up for all the time that I'm gonna be there, even though I'm planning on one thing I'm planning on doing is going on that Ferris wheel.
the
I'm
lake
gonna
falls. Yeah,
Yeah, and what am I gonna wear? A nice ass dress to that? No.
you
So we'll
can.
see.
Vegas is like you said it. It's either what. There's two. There's
It's
things
either
either.
you dress really casual or you dress to the nines.
Yeah. So we might as well do it. Oops, we're giving away our locations and we're
That's fine. It's fine.
but today we are also excited because last week we had Naya join us on the podcast, and this week we keep the guests coming, and I'm excited for this because this has been something people don't know whatever and how my mind works and all that stuff. But this has been someone that I've been wanting to have come on the podcast for a while, and she is finally here, and she's talking her movie False Prophets, which is so good. It's available on Amazon Prime, Peacock, and Tubi, and she's here to join us today. We're gonna get to know her. I'm excited for the world to get to know her because she's so dope. Without further ado, welcome to the show, Miss Shani Slay. Hello,
Hey,
hello, hello, beautiful.
Paul. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, applause right out for you. We're
Yes.
happy to be here.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. With everything going on in the world today, I'm just happy to be alive and grounded and I can't ask for anything more. So I'm just happy to be here.
So I was so happy to have you here. But you are starring in a movie. You played Delilah in False Prophets, which we're gonna get more into that. But how does it feel? Like again, I watched the movie, super proud. It was so good. It was crazy to see someone who I met and hung out with, and then see them in all their glory doing what they're doing. And it's like it was watching a whole different character.
You guys need to tell the people how you met.
But yes, we gotta tell the people. No, actually, you gotta tell the people how we met. First of all, real quick, how does it feel to have a movie out, like, and seeing yourself on the screens? How's that?
I think at first I was kind of like psyched out about it. Like I was like, oh my God, oh my God. I was a little nervous because, as a creative, we are our own worst critics, right?
Yes.
And so the first thing I went to was like, man, I wonder was my acting good? Like, did I do okay? Now, mind you, this was my first feature film and lead role in a feature film. So I had nothing to compare it against, right? But I knew I wanted to do my best. Shout out to John Wayne and Jamez Hampton, director Jamez Hampton. They took a chance on me, and I hope I made them proud. But my biggest fear was like not living up to my training, my experience. And when I saw the film, I was actually really pleased. Were there things I thought I could do better? Yes. Of course, there's always going to be things. There's always room for improvement. But I'm happy. I'm happy with it. It was very interesting to be able to see myself on a screen on TV for the first time, and I have so many more things coming up that I can't wait to share with the world.
Listen, you did great. You
Thank
like I coming from me, watching. You did amazing. I was just like I was sucked in. I was honestly sucked in the story and everything. But we're gonna get into this a little later. I want the people to get to know you a little more. And like Melanie mentioned, we met a few years ago. Do you want to tell
Was
them?
it a few years ago?
Yeah, it was a few
It
years.
really was. It's crazy
Wow.
how time has flown.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. Would you want me to tell the story?
Yeah.
So, man, so this whole trip that I did, people who know me know I am an avid traveler. I've been to 46 countries, and I can't even remember what year it was. Was it 2022? I think it was 2022 or 2021.
2021, I think.
Jeez, it's been that long. That's
It
crazy.
was either 2021 or 2022, but I want to say for sure it was 2021.
Because COVID was still kind of like lingering around, right? And we
Mhm.
had to get a mask. You had to go get a test before you could go
Oh
on the
yes, before
plane.
leaving Colombia. So 2021.
Yes. So I went to Colombia, solo trip for my birthday. Okay. Pisces season is coming
Hey.
up. Okay. Hey. And I went to Colombia and I bounced around to many different places. I went to Cartagena, Santa Marta, and I ended up in San Andres Island. And I ended up meeting Charlie and the crew. It was a whole bunch of people. We just linked up and we had a time. Okay.
We
Like,
did.
and you never know. This is why I never believe in burning my bridges with people, because
Mm-hmm.
you never know what life will bring back around to you again. I met Charlie on vacation. We was chilling, drinking, eating, dancing, and we went to like a little cabana, like a hut thing on the
Remember?
island.
That was so dope.
Yeah, it was
That's
amazing.
awesome.
And we had the time of our life. And I never once thought that we would come back around in this regard, right? But like I said, I do believe that when you meet people, you never know what life changes may happen. You may reconnect with this person again. You may need a favor. You may need, you never know. So, but I knew he was dope. When I found out he was a Pisces too, and we instantly connected, I was like, yeah, we're locked in,
Yeah.
and we've been
That's
tight ever
amazing.
since.
And I agree. When you are traveling or when you least expect it, you could be at a party, you could be a friend of a friend, and someone says, "Oh, you would love my friend so and so. They're into whatever you're into."
Mhm.
Those are connections that they see it through. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a huge advocate for solo travel too. I tell people, don't be afraid to travel solo.
I'm trying
Like,
to
you
do that
never
too, but I'm
know.
scared, girl. I'm scared.
No, don't be scared, boo. Like, ain't nobody gonna do nothing. You just gotta be mindful. You gotta be like, just pay attention to your surroundings. Don't put yourself in any weird situations. And like I said, I've been to 46 countries. I would say over 90% of my travels were solo. And
Wow.
I always had the most fun on my solo trips because I can wake up when I want to.
Mm.
I can go where I want to go. If I want to have some fun after hours, I can stay out all night and have fun after hours. I'm not worried about somebody telling me what I can and can't do.
Mm.
Right.
And so I love moving to the beat of my own drum when I travel because I get the best experiences out of travel. And I'm not closed off to doing different things, right? Some people say, "Oh no, I'm not going to go there," or "I don't want to eat there." I mean, what's the point of traveling if you're not going to try the local food? Or you're not going to go shop and sightsee and see the historic, parts of the cities and things that you're visiting. I love to do all of that. And then sometimes I just want to lay on the beach or relax at the resort and read a book. And that's the beauty of traveling by yourself. You can really make your own schedule and get what you want out of the trip and not have to worry about appeasing every other person that's on the trip or, and not to say group travel isn't fun. I've had some amazing group trips too.
Yes.
But it's a time and a place, it's a time. And you got to be strategic about how you pick these people to go on these trips with you too.
Facts. Because you could invite a few and then they invite guests, and that's a whole different situation.
Listen, and the whole vibe is thrown off. Okay, and you're mad. Everybody's uptight. The energy's weird. Like, who has time
Yeah.
for that? We spend too much on vacation to be stuck with people that
Yeah.
you don't even,
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen to that. But listen, so we're gonna get into so much because you've done so much. You're multifaceted in many ways, actress, but we're gonna get into getting to know you more because I think people will be shocked too. Some of the stuff you've done. I know I was impressed in it all when I got to know you in Colombia of everything you've done career-wise. But let's go to Baby Shine. Let's go back to
Oh.
what was the age that you knew or felt the passion, your passion for the art, whether it was dancing, acting, any, because us Pisces, we love it all. We love all.
Yeah. And I was born, created by two Libras, and they're so, oh my God, they had a different idea of what they wanted me to be, baby boomer Libras is what I was born to. I love them to death. They kept me grounded, I will say that. But it was instant. I remember vividly one day my dad, had the old camcorder that you had to hold. He had the camcorder in the backyard, and I wanted to be a newscaster, more specifically a sports anchor. I wanted to be a sports anchor because I love football and basketball and baseball, things like that. So I was about 4 or 5 years old, and I had, those fake echo microphones that kids had back in the 80s and 90s. I had one, and I was like, hi, reporting live from ESPN. Like, I knew then, like when I was 4 or 5, that I wanted to be in front of the camera and do things on the creative side. I was never a shy kid. I remember doing theater very early on, doing stage plays and things of that nature in elementary school. I played the violin, I played the piano, clarinet, dabbled with the flute a little bit. I was in the choir. I did all those things. And then on the athletic side, I ran track. I was a cheerleader. And I knew that being in front of a crowd never intimidated me. I just never felt nervous about it. You would get those initial jitters, but once I'm out there, it was like, it's showtime. Let's go, And my parents, I think they love that about me. But at the same time, that generation, they believed in, you gotta, be a lawyer, be a doctor, be an engineer, go get that, degree, that major degree. And so when I went off to college, going through elementary, middle school, high school, into college, I wanted to major in theater arts at the University of Texas. And my dad was like, we're not going to pay for you to go to school to major in theater arts. I was like, dang, it's like that? Like, dang, Dad, okay. And so the next best thing for me was the College of Communication. So I went into, first I started off in radio, television, and film, which surprisingly to me, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. It taught me so much that I realized I didn't really want to deal with everything that came with being in front of the camera as a reporter. Like, it was a lot of journalism that you had to do before you could even get in front of the camera. And I was like, well, what? Okay, all right. So then I switched my major to journalism. Hated that too. And then I finally ended up in public relations. And I thought that was the best of both worlds for me. I was able to learn how to deal with people, how to speak in front of people, and still keep my, I guess, a little bit of mystery about myself. I didn't have to always be out there, but just enough to represent other people and other entities as a PR specialist. That was what I learned in that regard. But I always, in the back of my mind, knew I was going to come back to theater. I knew I was going to come back to acting at some point. I felt like I got a little derailed with that particular, career choice. And then I just, I would do poetry and prose. I would go to open mics and things like that from time to time and just keep myself attached to my creative side that way. But then life happened and I made another choice that took me in another direction.
And it's funny because I want to talk about that direction because I was, again, in awe and impressed when, again, you meet and then you start talking and all that. And you are a U.S. Navy veteran, correct? I got it correct? 12 years. 12 years you put in?
It was roughly 11 years, 6 months, and 14 days.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for your service, girl.
And
I was counting.
So what after college and doing that, what led you to that path next? Because that was you had me dumbfounded when you told me. I'm like, oh wow, that is kick ass.
That's
Okay, so
badass.
yeah, no, it was weird. So when I left University of Texas, I had gotten out of a long relationship, and I was just kind of like, okay, I want to leave all that behind. I moved back to Houston, and I got me an apartment, all that stuff. And I think I was like, yeah, this ain't it. I'm not ready to be back home. And one day I was sitting at home, in my apartment watching TV. And at the time, the Navy had, a promo called Accelerate Your Life. And I remember the screen, it had like Navy SEALs, jumping out of the water with night vision goggles on and, all this cool stuff, missiles being launched. And I was like, you know what?
Oh my God.
I think I could do that. And literally, I picked up the phone. I called my Uncle Keith, who was a Navy veteran. He had served for 20 years in the Navy as a hull technician. And I said, I'm thinking about joining the Navy. And he was like, well, if you're going to do it, this is what you should do, and this is what you shouldn't do. Had a good conversation with him that night. The next morning, I got up, went to the recruiting station, and I joined the Navy the next day. Like literally, I took the ASVAB the same day. I scored high enough where I thought, okay, cool, I'm good with that. The recruiter was trying to get me to take it one more time because they were like, well, no, take it one more time because you're going to score higher next time and you can get something better. And I was just so ready to get out of Texas. I was like, I'm good. Like, what we got to do next? Let's move on. Like, I've already got it. You said I'm good. Let's go. They gave me an option to choose of what jobs I wanted. In the Navy, we call them rates. In the Army, the Marines, they call them MOS. So I sat down with the detailer and he laid out some stuff and he was like, all we have are engineering-based jobs. And I was like, engineering? I was like, I don't know anything about engineering. I've never done it. I'm horrible at math. I don't need to do anything engineering. And basically, he just showed me electrical, mechanical, and I forgot what else the other option was. It was something else. I can't remember what. Engineman. It was engineman. So I was mostly mechanical too. And I chose to be an electrician's mate. And the weird thing about it is I did not know I had a passion for fixing things. I didn't know I had the capabilities to learn Ohm's law and learn about, current and voltage and wattage and all this stuff. And now that's one of my side hustles. So, whenever I, feel like I need to go make some more money, I just go out there, do some electrical work. And, so it's a trade that I can never get rid of, right? It's something that I'm good at. And I was great at it all the way up until, I decided that the Navy wasn't for me anymore. I made it to the rank of E6. It was it was great learning everything about myself. I felt like it was more of a challenge to me because now I feel like there's not much I can't do. I'm not afraid of trying different things because I was really put to the limit with the Navy. Like it was a lot I experienced during my almost 12 years of service.
If you can go back and let's say you got a full ride scholarship to go to school for theater, would you do theater or would you take the path of the Navy?
Oh, you know, I try not to think about that because at one point I did think that. I'm like, man, where would I be right now had I actually pursued theater arts or film or something of that nature earlier in my life and didn't have to take the scenic route? Like I always say I took the scenic route to everything. I don't know. I don't know what would have happened. I feel like where I'm at right now, I appreciate it even more because I know what I had to go through to get there. And as a young 18-year-old, fresh out of high school, if I had gone right into theater arts or majored in film, I don't know if I still would have had that same appreciation for the journey that I do now. Like I have so much wisdom, so much life experience that now entering the field, this industry, the entertainment industry, I feel like I'm going in with my eyes wide open, right? Because I've been through so much in my life. I've lived overseas. I've experienced people from all walks of life that I didn't have that. I was just a young, naive 18-year-old who thought I had everything figured out. I was very, I just thought I had it all figured out. So I think even if I had that full ride, had went through that, with theater arts or film, I think I might have let it slip through my fingers, or I might have taken it for granted. Whereas
That,
now when an opportunity knocks, I'm
yeah,
gonna take it and run with it.
I think. I mean, I don't know if my parents are baby boomers as well, but they had that same mentality. And I remember my mom saying, because I went to school for fashion, she's like, go to school for something that has longevity. Fashion, art is always going to be there. And there
Hmm.
are a lot of people that they get into the arts later on. It gets greater later.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Um, I definitely believe that my life experience makes me appreciate where I'm at right now even more. Not to say that anybody who took the path quicker don't appreciate it. There are some people who walked right into it at 18, 19, 20, and they're doing amazing things. They've been doing it since they were kids, and that's the path that was laid for them. I look.
We, yeah, I always say we have our own paths. You know what I mean? It's again, like you said, the 19 for some of us later, for some of us mid, whenever. It's like we all have our own walks, and that we can't compare and just wait for our moment. But we also got to believe in it and put in the work, which I think you're doing, and I admire it. Is amazing. I seen you in the what was it, the Chase commercial. Um,
Yeah.
before, so it's like, oh my god, like you just doing your thing, and I'm so proud. Let's talk False Prophets.
Yeah.
The movie out now. Again, Amazon Prime, Peacock, and Tubi. And I'm a subscriber of Peacock, so that's why.
Okay.
I love my Real Housewives, so I'm a subscriber. But yeah. So let's talk prophets. You play the character Delilah. She's a little wicked with that, and even with that name Delilah, there's those certain
Yeah.
names.
Yeah. You know anything about the Bible, you know about Delilah and.
Talk to us about talk to us about false prophets and your character Delilah. Let's get into it.
Okay, so I would say when I saw the opportunity to be a part of this project, I saw Delilah as a challenge for me as an actress, right? Because for some reason I empathized with her. I was like, man, I get her, right? And I mean, she didn't have the greatest upbringing. Her life wasn't always, she wasn't born with a silver spoon in her mouth.
Mhm.
But part of her wanted to be good, and I think that was what she was seeking as a child, and even into adulthood. Part of her wanted to be good, but I also think she learned some habits growing up
I
through
mean, um,
familial connections that made her make some questionable decisions, right? And so when I was preparing for the role of Delilah, I had to tap into some different things that I didn't necessarily experience in my life. One of those is having an abusive, mother, a manipulative mother. I can't relate to that. Being in that environment and, all of that, that made me have to tap into something darker, right? And as a method actor, that's what we're trained to do, is to be able to tap into certain emotions, to bring out certain things and be able to answer that character's why. The character development, how you develop a character, give them a why. Like, why is Delilah how she is? And that was my biggest challenge, is trying to dig deep and figure out why she was doing the things she was doing. What is her plight? And at the end of it, I wanted people to see the film and actually feel indifferent about Delilah. Like, oh, she was grimy, but then, you know what? I kind of feel sorry for her too. And realize that a lot of the people that were around her were also grimy too, but they hadn't been caught.
mm,
Okay. So without giving away too much,
yes.
Delilah is a product of her environment.
Mm,
It
hmm
might run in her DNA for all we know.
and I love how you said character development and the whys, because I think I will say my personal opinion, you did that. like as I'm watching the movie, that happened. You seen that with the flashbacks with the mom. And period, even before you had the flashbacks, just from watching from the beginning, everything how the mom was, it's like, okay, this is, as you said, product of the environment, of her environment.
Yeah. Shout
No,
out to Fancy Jones, by the way. Fancy Jones played my mother in False Prophet, so shout out to her.
yes, it was great. So uh, again, Delilah was a little wicked, and we don't want to give away much because we want people to watch it. You have to go see it for yourself. But she's she's engaged to be married, but she's
Mhm.
also being a little playful on the side because her fiance, there's some things there that the fiance is not doing. Again, I got to tune in. How was that for you? And also playing like a cheater, but also do you find it difficult with the lovemaking scenes? Because I'm sure a lot of actors out there is not, you just see it so flawlessly on TV or on big screens, but I'm sure it's hard to get into those love scenes. So how do you find it difficult? Is it easy? And how do you prepare for it?
Did you guys have an intimacy coordinator?
We did not. So here's the thing. Tasha Denise, actress, shout out to Tasha. She played Ruthie in False Prophets. We met prior to us shooting the scenes that we needed to shoot. We had to do a lot of just scene work, right? And building our relationship. For me, I guess I would say I am a sexually fluid person. I don't, I'm not challenged by the idea of, kissing somebody of the same sex. It doesn't bother me. So for me as an actress, that's easy for me to do. It's not difficult. But for someone else who may not have had that experience and may not be fully comfortable with that, it may take a little bit more work to get there. So, Tasha was awesome about sitting down and being very open with me, like, hey, Shani, I don't know if I could do this. And so I had to help her tap into some different things, some different emotions, help her develop her character so that she could turn off whatever internal things she was thinking about and allow us to make our scenes look real. And that's so important to me. I don't want things to feel fake. I don't want it to look fake. I want the chemistry to be seen as real. And even though I feel like Ruthie and Delilah's connection in the film, in the movie, was actually, you could see there were feelings there to a certain extent, but then there was also, I felt like Delilah was being taken advantage of too, right? Like they were both getting what they wanted out of the situation. However, in some scenes, it made it seem like Delilah was the only one gaining anything from the connection, which that wasn't the case, right? So even when working on the scenes and the intimacy part, it was easy for me. It wasn't difficult for me.
Now, how was it? How about the emotional aspect? Because in the movie, we also see your character have to tap into that emotional aspect, especially towards the latter end of the movie with things that happen. Which again, you have to tune in to see how the ups and downs and the roller coaster that is False Prophets. But how do you tap into that emotional side as an
Ooh.
actress? Because that
So
could be
yes,
different.
I think you're referring to like towards the end of the film.
Yes.
So one of my biggest things, I have to give credit to my theater director, Mrs. Yvonne Phillips Dupree. She was my first theater director, my first theater coach, and she was at Sterling High School here in Houston. She taught me everything about method acting, right? And some of the dark things about method acting is that you have to tap into some deep, dark things sometimes to be able to bring out certain aspects of a character, to be able to cry on the spot. And the particular scene you're talking about, I remember sitting in the holding cell and, of course there's cameras, but then there's people behind the scenes that are there. And you have to be able to shut all of that out and go into a certain space in your mind. And I remember I was sitting there in the chair and I had to just think about something that would spark that deep hurt and that betrayal and that fear inside me. And tears like they just flowed instantaneously. And I remember one of the ladies that were behind the camera, she started crying watching me cry. And so when that happened, I was happy. As an actress, you're happy when that happens because that means if they're feeling it right there, they're going to feel it through the TV, through the screen, because the difference in film and theater is that in theater, you're sitting in an audience and you see the actors right there in real time, right? We don't get a cut and let's do it again type thing. You only get one chance to make the audience feel whatever that emotion you're trying to invoke in the audience at that time. In TV, you only got that moment on screen and then it's over and done with, or you can rewind it and watch it back. You don't get a chance to go back and recreate that moment again like you do in film. I mean, in theater, because we perform a show several days, several nights, or whatever. But that's the biggest thing for me is I've learned how to tap into certain energies to be able to evoke certain emotions. And it's draining. It's very draining. And with the cuts and all right, let's do this again, you got to go back to that spot again. So we had to do that scene a couple of times. I know we did it from different angles. People don't see that. You got to cut, move the camera. If you're working with one camera, you got to move it, do this. And you got to stay in that dark space or wherever that is, that fear, that childlike energy that you're scared. That's what I had to evoke in order to bring out those tears in that scene that you're referring to.
And I believe that, and it's so true that you say that because, listen, we've heard stories, Melanie, of actors who have had those dark roles or those challenging roles where they have to lose X amount of weight and they look so sick. Or listen, where it's been tragic, like let's say the example.
Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
Thank you.
Yes.
What's the other guy's name? Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, where it's like, even after the role, you've heard many actors throughout the years say like they were in a dark space even after they finished the movie rapping and stuff. So, to your knowledge and having to hearing you say you have to stay in that moment and do it again and again, it could be challenging and a little.
Even speaking of Heath Ledger, right? Tapping into something like that, they work on those projects for months. Like that's months and months of character development and being in characters. Like once they step on scene, they're in character. They don't even, sometimes they don't even want to be addressed by their real name. They want to be addressed as the character that they're playing the whole entire time that they're shooting. So one of the things that I learned from my theater coach was to de-roll. Once you're done with the project, de-roll. And that means go back to doing things that you were doing prior to. Like even if you have to keep a journal, write down who you were before you took on that role and became Delilah or whoever you became, right? And go on a spa retreat, go get a massage, do a spiritual bath and release all that energy. There was one particular role I carried when I did a theater production. It was Stretch Beyond Measures was the stage play. Shout out to Harold J. Trotter, who directed that project. I played a very deep, dark person, a mother who was very abusive. And of course, like I said, I've never experienced that type of treatment in my life. So I had to tap into something that was very deep and dark. And this was based on a true story. This was not a fictionary character that was developed. This was a real person with real family members who actually, I got a chance to sit down, interview, talk to the daughter who actually experienced abuse from her mother, who wrote the story. And then seeing pictures of this woman, she's no longer here, of course, she's gone now, but tapping into that energy from a spiritual sense, it can be very heavy and you have to release that. You have to be able to detach yourself from the characters at the end of a production and dig deep to either redefine who you were before you took on the role or go back to who you were prior.
It's so true. What would you say? Because obviously doing a movie, it's work. People don't understand it's work. For us, because we enjoy the arts, the consumer, the watcher stuff is like, okay, great, it's art. But people don't understand it's work. But it could also be fun. So what would you say was one of your favorite moments filming the movie?
I would say my favorite part of the film was actually the fight scene. I don't want to give away too much of it, but I think the fight scene was really awesome. That was really cool. And once again, we just kind of rolled with it. We didn't have any, stunt coordinator. I was like, look, grab me, pull me to the ground. Like this, I don't want this to look fake. Please sling me to grab me and throw me to the ground. She was like, are you sure, Shani? I'm like, yes, please. Just don't hit me in the face. I was like, just don't hit me in the face. But just yeah, that part was fun. But we were so exhausted because we had to keep doing it several times, several different angles. I was sweating, my hair was falling off. I was like, man, this is rough. But we shot that down in Galveston, Texas, at this mansion, this antique mansion called the George Manor, and we was down there the whole week, like whole day shooting this, and that was a great. Like we shot it the same day we did the wedding scene, and so it was a lot of moving parts that day. But that had to be one of my favorite scenes in the movie to actually film.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. Now, what would you say? What advice would you give? Because again, we were talking earlier. We all have our timing and everything in life, and things show up for us, our seasons and our valleys, peaks and lows. What advice would you give an actor and actress out there still wanting to pursue their dreams? Still, it's their passion since they were younger. Like, what advice would you give them? Like, what's a little piece of a nugget, as I like to call my advice, would you give to people?
Well, first I would tell them age is nothing but a number. Okay, so don't be afraid if you're older, younger, whatever. Age is a number. And then number two, not all money is good money. Okay, I say that to say not all projects are good projects. Be willing to say no and advocate for yourself. It's okay to turn down things. For me, like there'll be some people that may disagree with me on this. I've said no to a lot of projects. I've turned down things that I didn't feel like fit me as a person. Um, my dad always said all money ain't good money, and all projects aren't good projects. Do your due diligence, research the director, the producer, the distributor, look up those things and be okay with saying, no, I'm gonna pass on this one. Or no, I don't
Yeah.
think it's a good fit for me. Some people go into this industry and they think they have to take everything, whether it's paid or non-paid. I
Right.
don't believe that. I think you have to really kind of define yourself early on and pick and choose things that you think would be beneficial to your portfolio as an actor. That is so key. I feel like if you're talented, you're going to get seen, your opportunities are going to come. But I just don't agree with saying yes to everything. Be selective, stand your ground, say no when you have to, and trust that what's for you is going to be for you.
Mm.
Yeah. Quality over quantity.
Yes, absolutely.
Amen to that. Now, you've been acting, you've been doing your thing because it's not your first movie either. For the people out there, check her resume. We'll be putting links and stuff under the comment section. For you to check her out. This is not her first movie. Now, what's your dream? Because we're about to get into a game. We're about to get into a game with you. But what would you say is your dream actress or actor to work with?
Oh man. I absolutely love Winston Duke. I think he is awesome. I would love to work with him. Um, I've actually had the pleasure of working with Patrick Walker. Uh, I would love to work with him again. He's an up and coming actor. He's doing his thing. He's all over the place right now. But I loved his work ethic and his ability to be inspirational to other actors on set. So I would love to work with him again. As far as like other actors and actresses, I'm a huge Meryl Streep fan. I am a huge Matthew McConaughey fan. Of course, he's now a professor at the University of Texas. He's a Longhorn. He's from Texas, so I love everything about him. Like, all right, all right, all right. Love that man. I would love to work with him, even on a creative side, just him directing or behind the scenes. I would love to just be in his energy and just pick up how he sees things and views things. Um, of course, Viola Davis. I love her work. Um, Sandra Bullock is amazing. I just finished. I can't remember the name of the movie. I just finished watching with her, with Ryan Reynolds. It was.
Proposal.
She was the Kent. the Canadian trying to get her.
The proposal.
Yes, that was. I just watched it. I watched it for like the third time yesterday, and I was like, "Oh my god, I just love her. I love Ryan Reynolds."
And Betty White's in it. Betty White.
Oh my god, yes.
That was a good movie. That's a.
R.I.P. Betty White.
I love.
Have you seen it, Melanie?
No.
You like it. I think you'll like it.
I like Sandra Bullock though. I love Miss Congeniality. That's one of my favorite movies.
And Ryan Reynolds is in it, and he's easy on the eyes. And Betty White, you will like it. I think that's a movie you will like, Melanie. You will be laughing. I can see. Yeah, I think you'll like that movie. The Proposal. It's a good movie, and I'm more of a horror, mystery.
Is it a rom-com?
Yeah, I didn't say that.
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
That's up my alley.
You will love it.
We want to have a little fun with you, Shani, because we like to have a little fun with our guests when they come on and play some games. And we have a little game for you that Melanie has for you. So, Melanie, take it away.
So, just to piggyback off of your dream actors of working with, we're going to build your dream cast.
Oh.
So, I'm going to give you a couple of choices of leading men, supporting actress, someone playing the role of your sister, etc. And you tell me between each three who you would choose.
Okay.
We'll have a picture pop up for the people who may not recognize the actors.
This is so cool. I'm excited.
All right. So the first one for leading men, Morris Chestnut, Denzel Washington, or Idris Elba.
Ooh, I'm going to go with Idris Elba.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Supporting actress, Gabrielle Union, Vivica A. Fox, or Queen Latifah.
I am going to go with Gabrielle Union.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So who would play the role of your sister?
Queen Latifah, our Pisces sister.
I love Queen Latifah too. I love her too. She's awesome.
Who would play the role of your sister? Kiki Palmer, Storm Reed, or Zendaya?
Ooh, I'm going to say Storm Reed.
I love her.
Yeah.
Okay. Mother of leading actress, Cheryl Lee Ralph, who I adore, Viola Davis, or Loretta Devine?
Loretta Devine would definitely play my mom.
She was my favorite on Waiting to Exhale. And that's why hands on my favorite movie.
My mom is so southern and sweet and just yeah.
I love Loretta Devine.
Okay, so last one. Father of leading actress. Samuel L. Jackson, Morgan Freeman, or Forrest Whitaker?
Definitely Samuel L. Jackson, because the MF word, I know my dad that's one of his favorites. So Samuel Jackson would definitely play my father.
There you go. We did it. You gave your dream cast. That was fun. We've had so much fun. We want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy time, because we know you out there, you're doing your thing. And I have to say, I'm so proud of you from someone meeting you, and we've stayed in touch, through social media throughout the years. It's inspiring to me, honestly, to continue doing what I do in this platform and stuff, because it's always been a passion. Like you said, since younger, I will practice in the mirror as well and stuff. So it's inspired me to continue doing what I'm doing. I'm proud of you. People, I'm going to let her sell herself, but please go watch False Prophets on Amazon Prime, Peacock, Tubi. It's good. I loved it. Shani, where could people support you? Again, we're going to put links and stuff all over, but where could they follow you, support you, and all that good stuff?
Yes, my Instagram is From Shani with Love. So you can follow me on Instagram. You can check out my website, www.shanislay.com. That just has a little bit of pictures and stuff about me, and my demo reel is there. And I'm also on Facebook as Shani Slay. So all of those are my social medias. I'm trying to get into other things, y'all, but I like to focus all my attention on like 3 platforms, and that's it. So I'm trying to get better. Y'all gotta bear with me, but that's what I have right now. Please follow me. Charlie, Melanie, thank you so much, y'all. I had so much fun. Thank you for having me on here.
Thank you.
I see some people in the comments that Hey, LaQuitra, she was in the Navy with me. We were stationed in Spain together. She's always been a huge supporter. I just love everybody for just checking us out and always supporting me. And just want to tell people, like, I have an amazing group of friends, family, associates, colleagues, followers that I have never even met. Show me so much love over these last like 5 to 6 years of me just getting back into my thing. Even longer than that. I mean, my classmates I went to school with, so many people have been riding with me, and I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful for you guys, and just continue to rock with me, and let's see where we go from here.
And we will. I definitely will. Again, I'm so proud of you. And it's so exciting to see someone like that I know, like just doing their thing and living the dream again is inspiring. And I'm sure you're inspiring a lot of people out there as well. So thank you so much. You have to come back. I hope this is not your last time. Next time we come back, we'll Kiki, we'll talk some pop culture and get into the craziness that is our world. Because I know
Absolutely. That's
A
a
new
whole nother,
project.
that's a whole nother set, just questions, and we
that's a
can talk
whole
about that for days. Okay.
right. So hopefully this is not your last time. Thank you so much once again, everyone. Please go stream False Prophets on Amazon Prime, Peacock, Tubi. It's more than one platform, so there's no excuse. So definitely go stream it, check it out. Support our girl, Shani Slade. We love you. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank
Our
you.
people, follow, like, subscribe, share. Yeah.
Bye, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Make sure to follow, like, share, subscribe, everything the Inner Circle podcast, and catch us every Wednesday live at 8 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook.